Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. We all know that Florida is experiencing a crisis right now with respect to COVID-19. And we still can't get reliable numbers about COVID cases from the Florida Department of Health. My office has issued a public records request for case numbers, and we still have not heard back from the Department of Health. But here is some information that they cannot hide. Over 41,000 Floridians have lost their lives because of this pandemic. 92.18% of ICU beds are currently full, and 51.46% of those are occupied by COVID patients. And just released by the CDC, we have 21,669 more cases. Florida hospitals are running out of room, and we're seeing reports of hospitals with no capacity at all or having a stack patients in the hallways. Over 5,000 students are in quarantine right now in Hillsborough County. Palm Beach County has just issued a state of emergency. 3 educators have died from COVID in Broward County already this year. Orange County schools reported 238 COVID cases in students yesterday. This is an emergency. And instead of focusing on how to help, our governor and commissioner of education are spending time trying to figure out how to punish school districts that have asked their students to wear masks. As many of you know, the Florida Department of Education has called an emergency meeting at 4 o'clock today to discuss school boards that have been non-compliant with their mask ban. People's lives are on the line, and our state leaders are playing politics. It is the height of hypocrisy for so-called conservatives Ron DeSantis and Richard Corcoran to tell local school districts that they will be punished for making decisions that they think are in the best interest of their communities. And only a small fraction of parents are opting their kids out of wearing masks. Richard, Ron, parents and the people are not with you on this. Listen to them. This is a relatively small group of people who are dictating the entire state of Florida's education policies. Schools need to be able to require masks, at least for now, for the kids who aren't eligible to get the vaccine yet, and those who are at a greater risk of getting sick from COVID. These unconstitutional threats from DeSantis and Corcoran aren't about individual rights or freedom. They're about pandering to the most extreme voices in order to score political points at the expense of your kids, your family. Superintendents and school board members have a constitutional obligation to protect children and teachers. And the Department of Education has a constitutional requirement to provide an adequate education to all kids and to adequately fund all public education. Like the president said, if the governor and commissioner won't help, then they need to get out of the way. Maybe they should try focusing on doing their own jobs instead of preventing teachers and school board members from doing theirs. So many of these decisions are being made without the input of people that they impact the most. That's why I wanted to hold this press conference, to elevate the voices of the parents and educators who have to live with the consequences of the governor's choice every single day. I'm so fortunate to be joined today by incredible groups of parents and educators who are standing up to make their voices heard about how the unconstitutional policies are impacting their lives and Florida's children. Thank you for being here today and your willingness to stand up for what is right for our kids and our teachers here in the state of Florida. And I first would like to bring up to the podium Talithia Edwards.
Hello, I'm Talithia Edwards, Chair of the Leon County Title I Advisory Council, which is a diverse group of community members that includes parents, teachers, administrators, and community-based organizations. We represent and serve some of the most vulnerable schools in our district. Before school, as chair, I heard from a very concerned constituent about the fears of COVID-19 and the new Delta variant. In response, we wrote a letter of support to our school superintendent and our board to require masks for the entire district. The work of the Title I Advisory Council is centered around equity, and we understood to not require masks and to put those who are most vulnerable at risk of sickness, of multiple day quarantine, which would result in missed days of school, poor student achievement, failing schools, and ultimately failing communities and death is not equity at all. While our governor has the privilege to attribute mask mandates to personal choice and freedom, many Floridians and the school population that we serve in the Title I Advisory Council do not. As if the threat to defund the district who took a stance to choose to protect those who they serve was not enough, now our state leadership is threatening to withhold salaries and remove those individuals, which many of us voted into office. We cannot yell freedom for one issue and infringe on another. Freedom and leadership comes with responsibility. And though the sentiment of decisions made closer to people are made best, we all understand that it's not being understood by our state leadership. I know our governor does understand the Bible. So the scripture says that to whom much is given, much is required. And this state requires a lot from them at this time. Leadership that is one-sided, it requires a leadership that is not one-sided. It requires leadership that prioritizes public health. It requires leadership that is not haughty and will do what is required to keep all of its citizens healthy and safe. So I hope that our leaders hear us today and will withhold penalty from the district who have made the decision to support those who they serve and know what's best. Thank you.